up the volume of the music for you guys a little bit. And check the bit rate, and we look good. So, we're continuing to work into this area a bit. Kind of flush the area out a little bit more. Just noticed in the spot I missed that material on. There we go. Hold it. That did not do what I wanted it to. Oh, I know why. There we go. So yeah, I've been kind of finishing out this area a little bit more. Also this area, kind of refined it just a bit. Not, you know, complete, but looks a little bit more finished. And then I've started doing a very, very rough, just kind of block out of like how do I want these areas to flow? And very rough. I'm not even 100% sure this is what it'll end up being. But it's also kind of giving me a visual of like how many structures can fit just in this little area alone. And it's a lot. I'm also rethinking this. I was thinking about this earlier, so let's try this real quick. I don't know why the pivot's not in the right spot for that, but whatever. I'm wondering how... It's probably too big. Yeah. It's too big for that idea. I want to find a good place for this, but it's also so gigantic. It takes up so much room. It might not be a terrible spot for that, actually. We'll leave it there for now. I don't know if I want it over here anymore, though. Or if I do... Oh, it's gonna take us. I hate when it does that. Excuse me. I'm actually debating... getting rid of this portion of the raised area. Because I kind of want to open this spot up a little bit more. I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to do with this too. But I want this area, I think, to reflect more of the feeling from this concept that Goblin did. It's not going to be a perfect one-for-one because there's walls in the background here that aren't there, and I mean there is like kind of like the ziggurat in the background, which it's kind of in the background there, but kind of just have a couple more of these style houses starting to wind their way through, and breaking this up might help that. So maybe I do something similar to that. Hey, Zukin! But instead, do it over here. That's a tree. Hey, Subnatural. How's it going? Alright, we need to fix the edge flow so the edges go where I want them to. One more over. You know what? Let's do it this way. No, it's still not going to do what I want. Let's do this. We'll delete those. We will... Oh, cool bot. Oops. Forget how to do this. Isn't there an easy way? Nope. Alright, I'll have to type it in. /bang. Does having the water everywhere under the map have an impact on the frame rate? No more than just having it in the zone does. There might be a little bit of a hit, but it's probably not that much. But that'd be a question for John. He's more familiar with the water system we're using. Than I am. I need to eventually sit down and like go through the documentation on it. But whoop, that was not what I was trying to grab. But yeah, I wish I could give you a more solid answer to that, but I doubt it's that big of a performance hit. I know in the past when we've had like really big lag spikes, a lot of the time it's coming from the animations. Those have seemed to be the larger hits for us. Or at least from what I'm aware of, that has been the larger hits. Okay. So potentially do something kind of like that. And let's break this for now. Hey, John, how's it going? Oop. Hey, Norden. How are you doing? All right. So, let's cut across that. Let's try. Flattening this out a bit. I'm using a larger snap just because it's way easier to get everything back on the grid. I mean, not that it's not on the grid, but like on the same grid line. This is gonna make a liar out of me. At this rate, why is that not? The only problem, yeah, I can't. There we go. Nope, that's still not what I wanted. I can't use the snapping on the vertice because the mesh is complex enough that, like, it's just going to offset everything on the mesh. Because Pro Builder is fun. It doesn't help that these cameras are kind of wonky. Oop, I'm not grabbing edges I didn't want to grab. Let's do this. And let's bridge this because there's going to be a little hole otherwise. Oop, helps if I grab the right edge. Okay. For some reason those didn't... stitch together naturally, which is weird. Just trying to make sure that this area doesn't get filled up with sand, essentially. You know what? Actually, I want to bring this down. Not bad, just a busy day. How about you? I pretty much the same. I had a bunch of stuff that I was trying to get done this morning. I wanted to start the stream a little earlier. I just had to get everything finished up first. So, did get an earlier start than normal to make up for not streaming Monday, but not as early as I wanted to. Why is this locking? There we go. And apologies again to everybody about canceling another Monday stream. That was not my intent. I actually had everything set up to go. And then my son's mouse started freaking out on him. Which actually, I have a mouse that did the same thing. And every time he would like right click, it would right click, but it would release the right click even though he was still right clicking. And he was not having a fun time playing the game he was playing. So I went diving into my closet to find my box of like random cables and extra computer parts to see if I had a spare one, which I did, that I had completely forgotten about, but the dust got me. I said, like, this was probably, I don't know, 40 minutes before the stream started. And by the time the stream time had started, I'd already put Benadryl on it, and it just kept, my hands just kept getting like more and more hives. So I was like, oh, this is great. I probably should have done this at a different time. Okay. There's really not a whole lot of space here, but I could have a building. I guess I'm gonna maybe stick a building in this wall. Maybe. We'll see. But I'm gonna give myself the option to. So you know what? I really should. One, delete that edge that's no longer being used, but I should just run this all the way down this one. Alexa. No, I did not say Alexa. I said I need to get better at remembering to mute that stupid thing before I start streaming. Are you teaching this semester? Yep, I am. Got a couple classes. I've got a digital texturing and lighting, a thesis class, and kind of a group-based environment class going this semester. So far, they're all off to a pretty decent start, which is always nice. Oops. Why does this keep opening up? Oh. Apparently, I was not paying attention a couple minutes ago when I was putting all those edges in. Make sure I'm in global. Okay, let's stitch this together. Ooh. Trying to turn my music down just a pinch, and then I completely muted it. Right now it's super sloppy, but I'm just trying to open up this space so that I can start planning how I want to do this. And again, for anybody who's hopped in, I'm trying to make this particular area feel a little bit more like this image. So these little kind of clusters of buildings that are going to be around these kind of towers. Actually, no, that would be a really weird flow. No, maybe not. So initially I had it planned where this would kind of come straight and diagonal. Maybe I move the road more this way, and it's closer to here. And I move this over here. Granted, I won't have the ziggurat in the background. But I would have a tower. Walk around and get there. And then readjust some of that other stuff to make it look a little bit more. Decisions. Hey Justin, how's it going? Let's take a look at how that would look. Single buildings. So these would be something like this. I think I'm going to get rid of this altogether. And then this wall, I'll probably just make the back sides of these towers larger. If this is the route I go. Excuse me. Hey, Dorgoth. What is on the docket today? I am working on kind of this general area of Night Harbor. And this will probably be the focus for the next couple streams. So, if anybody's hopped in recently, kind of not completed this area, but made it look a little bit more finished. Same with over here. The fortress looks a little bit more finished, although apparently I keep forgetting to add materials to certain spots of the floor. Anyways, so I'm trying to clean up this area. Yesterday I was playing around with just different building, like, general shapes. Obviously these are still very boxy for the most part, and trying to figure out kind of a layout. Whoa! What the heck happened? To my ground plane. Son of a... Okay, let's fix this real quick. I'm not gonna Control Z back because I don't know how much... apparently I did a multi-selection and missed that I was selecting all of that. One of the more fun features of selecting stuff in Pro Builder. Probably when I was deleting that one face. But I don't understand why that one face would delete. Whatever. It's an easy enough fix anyways. It's just a little annoying that it happens like that all the time. Actually, I don't even need to do that. I can just do that. There we go. So, anyways, giant hole no longer existing. Sinkhole probably. So besides that, hole being repaired, yeah, just kind of trying to figure out like what the street layout and stuff could be. Obviously, you know, again, some of these are larger buildings and stuff like that. But kind of having, you know, a slight more interior spot in here. And then I was thinking originally of doing a kind of courtyardy thing here, but this building actually fits kind of nicely. I might stick with that. But I need to figure out the rest of this space and down this space. And I think eventually I'm going to cut a hole in here. So at a minimum, I can do something in this space. It could potentially even end up at this part of the bends. So the bends might have an upper tier entrance and whatever we decide to do down here. Granted, you're also, because you're going to be higher up over here, you could drop down into the bends. So I guess there's going to be multiple ways to get into the bends. But we have not actually started working on that yet. And what is going on over here? I'm just going to throw that there. This whole thing's going to eventually get nuked and replaced with better looking geo. So, but yeah, I'm trying to focus a little bit more today on this particular area, 'cause this is the area that players are actually like using in the friends and family tests, and will be using in the community test. Excuse me. I apologize if I get like smoothie all over my face. Probably not the best drink to. Probably not the best thing to drink while streaming, but whatever. So let's just run these edges to this wall. The scene for now. That's good enough. Yeah. So if I'm going to use Goblin's illustration here, it's kind of a inspiration for this section. I'll lean into that. We have another building here-ish. So this might end up getting moved. And then these kind of almost want to have that, something like that. I may just have to rethink how this area is set up. Let's block this in. And I will, whoops, what's the one I wanted? Move this onto my, I'm looking at this, it's on the other screen though. So unfortunately you guys can't see. Oh, I can't even see now. Damn it. Hold on. I guess I'll just hide my UV editor. I clicked in and it, and my vertex color. My other Unity windows you guys can't see that are off screen just like jumped right in front of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 5, 6, 7. guess you can do these as 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Yeah, about 5. So let's make this a little shorter. Actually, hold on. Not quite, but close enough. Let's steal this from the inn. Just got to move this down into Sagesyde. Actually, you know what? We need to move this down into Sagesyde. Because it has been existing outside of it. Alright. Single building. There we go. So we will, of course, I just closed the UV editor. This back, and I'm gonna narrow. Whoa! Do I have hidden off? No. Why did that? I just didn't have it all selected. There we go. Don't need as many of these as I probably already have. Let's just grab a couple of these. Do a little more of a thoughtful layout of these eventually, but for now, let's do this so I don't have a spline. It's selected as well. I didn't delete that spline, right? YouTube's already yelling at me. It's gonna be a great day. Oh, I guess, man, the first 40 minutes of this went by real quick. I didn't realize I've been streaming that long. All right, let's bring back up that. And by bring back up, I mean on my other monitor. Sorry again that you guys can't see it. this might actually work. It's not going to look exactly like the concept, but I'm not trying to get it exactly. I'm just trying to get the feel. Actually work. Hey, Ref Chimbley. How's it going? That building is kind of throwing off the vibe, but I still like the building. What I want to do is kind of build up. That's a little bit. So I think I want to have another building. Oh, excuse me. Brunchin' Hard, thanks for the follow. And welcome to the stream. Hope you are having a good day. Let's see. This might make more sense. Rotated. So with these houses and stuff, it's more about kind of like these split levels. And kind of building them up. So getting the interior to work on this one was more challenging than I expected. To kind of keep the same dimensions. Why is that? Text color must have been off on that one vertex. Alright. So this will Pro Builder, you're driving me crazy today. That's not the right ones. For a second there, I didn't think I had the edges I wanted. So yeah, I think this will go down so I can get under here. This will be built up to here. This street will be narrower. Something that high though. I'll leave that alone for now. We'll actually wall it off. Yo, I caught you. I usually miss your stream. Hey, Goblin, how's it going? Actually using your concept here for a little bit of inspiration in this area. Very well. Also, nice. Wanted to ask if you had anything you needed from me concept-wise. Currently, no, because I just have so much, like, blocking out to do. Concept-wise, there's nothing I am in immediate need of that I can think of, anyways. think, and I can't think of anything that I'm like, oh, this is what I've been needing something for. Oh, I could use a back crack if you want to, like, step on my back, though. Be right over. It's a short trip. Ooh. All right. Oops. Oh, sorry, my eyes are itchy. Okay. And we will. Up. Oops. TFW collected 1,300 arrows. I need to eventually sit down and get some better channel points, like reward things going, because I've been meaning to do that for like at least a year. I'm gonna say a year, but that's a lie. It's been longer than a year at this point, but I do need to actually like get on that at some point. I have a feeling I've got a really funky face going on. I do. Shoot, that wasn't what I wanted it to do. No. What? How on earth did that make sense? Oh, wow. Okay. Let's not do it that way and say we did. Let's There we go. Hey, Patus, saw you live and had to hop in and see some of the sweet Night Harbor editing. Nice. Welcome to chat. Let's see. Meal list? I guarantee you I just butchered your name and I apologize. But regardless, welcome to the chat. And it's kind of a welcoming initiation, me butchering your Twitch profile name. Now what do I want to do here? I want this to be there, but do I want maybe I'll make this slightly smaller. This a little bit more than the other options I was playing with. You know. Oh, Pro Builder. Collapse. Collapse. Bridge. Why don't you want to bridge? Oh, I know why you don't want to bridge. Because I'm an idiot. That's why. And I didn't delete the face on the other side. There we go. Got some Z fighting. Let's fix it out. Let's see. So I know I must ask this 1,000 times, but what's the pipeline after you box things out? Do you export the Pro Builder meshes? After everything's blocked out, I'm hoping I can move to another zone for a little palette cleanser. But that is possible. It might be easy. It depends. Some of the things might be easier just to texture with Pro Builder. But the things that are going to need more intricate UVing, those will be easier to do in Maya for sure. But things that we just need to slap textures on, it might be easier in Pro Builder to do that. But that is going to be one of the steps for sure. Is to come in here and export out everything. I'll probably export them out in blocks. And then re-import them. After they're been cleaned up. And then So some of the things will actually be pretty easy to clean up. Other ones will probably take a little bit more time. But and that's kind of the idea anyways. Don't we need Swan to convert the stuff from ProBuilder to Maya meshes for efficiency? Yeah, that's exactly what we want to do. But some of the, depending on the mesh, like if it's a simpler texture where we just want to throw a like a tiled texture across it, I think that kind of stuff is going to be easier to do in ProBuilder, like I have been. So things like that. We just need the textures and then export them out with the materials attached so that it has a material ID, and then when I export it out and then bring it back in, it'll already have its material elements assigned, so it's just reconnecting the material at that point to the static mesh. But yeah, eventually everything should be converted to a static mesh. FBX, probably more likely than OBJ, but learning all kinds of things. That's the hope of these streams, is that you guys can learn some stuff. These two, this part as well. Ah. Oh, come on. There we go. Hazy 160 or 160, I guess would be easier way to say that. What are you working on today? I'm going to arbitrarily guess a druid guild hall based on nothing. No, our Druid Guild Hall is actually in the Hanging Garden, which doesn't look quite gardeny yet. That'll eventually happen once we do more foliage stuff. Right now, I'm just kind of working on the kind of path through Sagesyde towards the kind of more collegiate area of Sagesyde. And then I have been kind of working on like what the street layout is in this area. This area is probably mostly going to be like housing and stuff like that, as far as I am aware. I am not aware of any planned content for that spot, but there might be. Maybe have a giant city to stuff with content, so but yeah, I'm just kind of working on that, and I'm basing it kind of on the feel from this concept of goblins. So cooling towers with kind of 1, 2, 3 story kind of, you know, buildings that are, a lot of them that are kind of like split levels. So playing around with that, so you can kind of see, it's not an exact replica. come on, let me scale this. But you're getting very similar vibes. This is like the one thing that's kind of... I guess that's even... There is something there. It's just more like that. And then this. You got the tower over here. So I need to think about how I want this road. Do I want the road to kind of twist? Or do I want it to kind of... And then line buildings along this side? Maybe that's something I should actually just throw some cubes in here to visualize. Sometimes just doing this is just makes it easier to kind of visualize everything. Man, there's so much space. Might also help if I bring these down to the ground level. This will probably have a couple more buildings along that side. Ooh, come on. I don't know. This area is going to be... This area right here, I think specifically, is going to be more trial and error. Obviously, this is going to be going up. These won't be... These will probably be more split level and kind of playing on the verticality. Same with the stuff over here. And I have a feeling I'll have more... Like, this area right here is pretty wide. I think I'm going to have more buildings kind of stick... Like, lower buildings sticking out into there. But kind of thinking something along here. This is gonna... These towers, I think, are gonna come down to the ground level so you can actually like, get up into them. So this area should be more open for sure. Well, this whole area right here will probably be more open. There might be some buildings like lining it or something like that. Well, maybe not here because it's going to block here. So yeah, maybe this will be like the kind of thoroughfare-ish. And then having this building here kind of really breaks that up because I can't put a bunch of other stuff. So it would be like buildings. Where's it? So something like that. Oops. Super rough planning. But this is stuff I've been thinking about. I really need to just kind of visualize it a little bit better. And honestly, I'm probably going to shrink that entrance. So I couldn't do that because it's going to block off that building. I'm honestly almost debating repurposing this building as some of the temples up here. Just because it takes up such a huge footprint. It's kind of hard to tuck in any particular spot. Come on. Control Z back. There we go. So yeah, I think I am do something more like this. Yeah, I won't follow the concept as much, but it will at least work better for the flow. Let's see. Hanging Garden sounds like a great place for druids. Very evocative. Thank you. I do like the look of the concept art. Seems very functional in a desert. The cloth seems to be a great place to show a bit of personality. Yeah, so the cloth, we were also thinking about like cooling and stuff. Like the cloth was magical and would essentially lore-wise be help guiding breezes and stuff around the city for cooling. along with the cooling towers. If you wanted to make the cooling towers more circular, that would work too. I think the box vibe, or I think the box vibe though too. All right, feels great, classic feeling. Yeah, I need to eventually make a couple of the more circular ones just to throw around in places. My feeling, excuse me, my feeling based on the art is the area probably didn't have affordable grid planning. Buildings were placed where they were made, or they made sense and probably looked a bit messy from the outside. You can't see down the end of the path. Yeah, it's another thing I'm trying to do more in this specific spot, is have a little bit more less of a grid plan, because a lot of our areas do currently, except for this area. So again, trying to give each district of or each part, this, you know, is one giant district. That kind of makes this, you know, LC type shape, I guess. So trying to give each little section kind of its own vibe. Let's see. You can't see down. Yeah, I just read that. I really like what you did there, by the way. Looks great. Are we talking about this? I need to really kind of do a serious block in of this stuff to really lock in what's going on. This would be multiple buildings, probably larger buildings. It might not work with the overall flow, but it could build, but could the buildings be so close together, there isn't a main road, it's all worn and side passages. There are areas like that, but this being a major path through the zone, I want to keep I want there to be that main thoroughfare through it. One reason originally, until a couple weeks ago, some people were having trouble finding how to get here, so a lot of my focus was kind of cleaning up this particular area, and just routes through it and stuff like that. So I definitely don't want to lose this kind of main, easy to follow route through the city, or through the northern side of the city, from west to east. So we have, go back out here from a city planning perspective. You've got the main road that kind of takes you up through here. You've got the Traveler's Ward, which kind of links up with that, or can link up to here. You've got the park, which currently lets you go into the necropolis, which you can also reach on and off hang from here. This area again is probably going to be more like player housing and stuff. Again, I'm not aware of any plans for content specifically in that area. You've got the upper tier here that'll be reachable through here. I may even put some like tower entrances that you have to like go up some stairs to reach up here, just so it's not like such a run to get there, just to kind of shorten it. So there might be an entrance here and here. I've even kind of left... Whoop, that camera shot way faster than I thought it was going to. You know, I've kind of left this area open right now. I haven't put buildings up against here because I think there's going to be some sort of stairwell system up through there. And then we have the garrison, which is just over here and kind of loops back in towards the market district, like at the entrance of it. And then the night market has kind of a direct route over here into the docks. But you can also get there through this north-south street. And then, yeah, you kind of cut through these different routes that Simon's made to get to the bends. And then this will probably be the main entrance to the bends. Like I was mentioning earlier in the stream, I may make a kind of pathway and do something in this space. I don't know what it would be yet. And then have an entrance, like a guarded entrance, essentially, that would kind of walk you down into the upper levels of the bends. But I haven't settled on if that's what I want to do or not there. And then we also have this absolutely gigantic, like, just tunnel right now that cuts through underneath the ziggurat. I'm not really happy with this one. Is just really large, like, and really boring to run through. So I need to figure out eventually what I'm going to do with this, to either make it more interesting or cutting it out entirely. But we'll see. It needs something. But yeah, that's kind of like all the main paths. And then there's going to be a temple complex under here as well. But yeah, I'm trying to keep those main routes for the most part. And then off those routes, you get these little kind of twists and turns that, you know, are those things that you feel like you can get lost in, but they're really not that large. So, you know, you're not really going to get lost. I mean, I guess you can when you're learning it, but also, you know, trying to make these larger points of interest that are visible through multiple spots in the zone to help you kind of navigate around. And that, I mean, putting that one up there gives you another like visual. Let's see. Morning, Gula. Sorry, I think that was I'm a little far behind on what's going on in chat. I just read that. Don't worry about hitting the concept for the layout. I barely did a consideration for that. Mostly just made the thing look good. Yeah. No, I'm just trying to get a similar feel as opposed to being locked in on it. But I do want to have this area a little bit off grid, which will make it a little bit more difficult. Specifically because it's easier with ProBuilder to model on grid and then move something off grid. Just because the tools freak out when you're not modeling globally. And YouTube did it again. There we go. Oops. Back to that. That's very fair. You don't want to make the main path into in the starter city confusing. Yeah, exactly. There are a lot of these little kind of like loops and stuff that'll take you off the kind of main path. There's not really that much of a main path here. And some of these buildings might even get like, you know, slightly rotated and stuff like that at some point. Right now they're just really just cubes thrown in here, so I can start kind of visualizing how much space there actually is. And I mean, there's a lot of space in this city. It's really, really large. I say some deep race related alcoves and market type stuff. Yeah, I think that we could potentially do stuff. Although I think we already have like 2.5 marketplaces, because you got the Black Feather Bazaar over here, which is kind of a, could be a deep themed, necropolis themed one. We've got, you know, Night Market, which has a little bit more of a bazaar feel, and then has a bunch of, you know, more twisty and turny, shady back alley type stuff going on over here. And then, unless the lore has changed, eventually there'll be a market set up in this temple. And right now this temple, wow, this is really janky geo. I've apparently moved stuff around and didn't notice it. That is not supposed to be there. But yeah, this is obviously not thought out. This was just like me doing some extrusions to the map that Ham drew, and that's how long it's been since I've actually like touched this. So this is way larger than it really should be. This would probably be like, more like that. I should probably double check that I'm not stranding any NPCs out in the world. Let's open up the zone panel real quick. And by real quick, I mean this is going to take like a minute to load all the database entries. But while it's doing that, I will continue reading chat. Maybe the undertunnel is a confusing area. The surface has a longer but windy path. The tunnel has a shorter pass, but you know what you're doing. And Cindercroft, thank you for the prime. I appreciate it. It's really, really nice of you. Where was I reading? Windy pass, the tunnels, shorter paths, and it can leave space for shady types of dwellings and corners in the larger tunnel. Man, Night Harbor's so big. Yeah, it really is. Yeah, it really is. There's a lot to the city. Just like yesterday when I was starting to just throw building size cubes into that one space along the ziggurat, I was just like, oh my god, there's so many more buildings that are gonna fit in here than I realized. It really is gigantic. No worries. You're head down and doing work. Zukin says, Paytas, you are familiar with Agram from Vanguard? It's a busy city, sort of similar to Night Harbor in a way. Don't know if you have any grains of knowledge to gather from or not. I think I know which city you're talking about. It has been well over a decade since I've been around in that city, though. Oh, cool. I did not strand, because I know at one point these NPCs were like over here. I just didn't want them to be like not all the way over there. So now that this area will be a little bit smaller. Eventually this will expand out and be similar to how it was in the old Night Harbor. I'm gonna close that off. But yeah, all of these need to be figured out, and some of these buildings are probably going to be copied from, you know, things in the marketplace, or some of these ones that Simon's been working on over here. You know, if the shape and the layout kind of fits with those, I'll just duplicate and move stuff over. Same with over here. But again, just kind of figuring out what the general overall shape can be, and the flow can be, and all of that. Actually, I kind of like that more. Let's see. Okay, not the marketplace. Yeah, we've already got a bunch of markets, so I'm not sure if we need another market themed area. I love the hanging cloth in the bazaar. Oh yeah, this was similar. We had some in the original one that Sean had done, and then a lot of Goblin's concepts kind of have different drapes and stuff like that. Eventually, there's gonna be a bunch of drapery and stuff over here. I only played with it in a couple spots. That'll be more of an art pass, but like this was another kind of test. There's gonna be a bunch of these kind of mast, like ship mast themed stuff on top of buildings and stuff, holding up sails and like this type of thing. And again, that'll be more of an art pass, so that's a ways off at this point. And then as you get over to the bends, we'll probably lean a lot into more wooden structures and little shacks and ramps and stuff like that. And it's going to be more of a seedy, shady, outdoor dungeon. So like kind of the sketchier side of town. Eventually, also I think it's going to be more tapered. Right now it's way too large. There's so much space here. It'll probably taper in, and this all right here might even taper in more too. Right now it's so gigantic. But it's going to be more of kind of a shanty town. And since it's up on a hill, there'll be a lot of verticality. Like you get to like plateau area, you know, areas that kind of plateau out and have little like squares, I guess, with buildings all around. And then some of the buildings will have overhangs, so you'll be like walking underneath things. And that's kind of the idea of what's going to go on there. Let's see. Yeah, it could be more deep-themed homes. But at the same time, we have to be careful not to get too elaborate down here. Because, not that we can't have, like, a TARDIS effect when you go in. But this is going to be a zone eventually. Like, you'll, you know, walk through the front gates, and then you'll be in an interior zone, which would build down. So I don't want to, like, get too crazy down here, because in theory there's supposed to be a gigantic like dungeon, like a vertical dungeon going on there, and then potentially like this doorway could in the future end up being another dungeon area. And right now I'm hiding what is eventually going to be the enchanter area, class area is hidden down here right now. When you get a chance, what new zone do you want to cleanse your palate on? The ones I've been looking forward to, dear God, are Fallen Watch and Fallen Pass. So fly over here. Actually like making this an actual zone. So I'll probably do the facade as well. But this right now is just you can't tell, but there is a zone that has like kind of a cavernous way, and it kind of looks, and you see the fortress like overlooming, like foreboding over you while you're in different parts of the zone. So I think that'll be fun playing with this zone and that zone, and kind of how they can be interconnected in areas, secret passages, playing with shape language we've established. So this will be very similar. Like, I want to go with this vibe. So the kind of Minas Mogul, haunting green light. But I kind of want to blend it a little. It's going to be blended a little bit with some Wormsbane shape language and Dragonstone from Game of Thrones and House of Dragon. I have a feeling the top level of it is going to feel slightly like Carnor's. Just based off the idea I have. So we'll have to see how that actually works. But then there's going to be a whole bunch of like stuff going on beneath it as well. So like caverns and stuff kind of built down into the depths of it, and dungeons and some cool stuff, and they'll be linking into Fallen Pass and stuff. So that's what I've been looking forward to. We are putting in another dungeon over here, which is a Canyon Ashira themed one, I believe. So that should be fun to play around with as well. And I think I'm actually hitting that next. And then eventually I need to redo Shaded Dunes and fix like all the old geo and get some new geo in there. But still chipping away over here at Night Harbor. Hold on, where? I love the scale of the city. It really feels like a whole location that contains content. It's not just buildings to host relevant NPCs. Exactly, that's what we're really trying to achieve, especially with Night Harbor. We have multiple cities and like racial cities that'll be smaller, but there are a couple other cities planned that might be on the larger side. We'll have to see when we get there. Like, do we want it to rival this scale, or is Night Harbor the big city, and then the other ones are just kind of large but not as large, that type of thing. But that'll be something that we have to tackle when we eventually get to there, which we're a ways off from that. But yeah, so those also going to be, like ruins and sewers and stuff that you'll be able to eventually get down below, like just below the surface type of stuff. We just haven't, there's just so much above world stuff that we haven't had the time to actually like dive in and do some more of the fun, like dungeon crawly sewer type stuff. Should make a section of the city where the buildings are too small for bigger races. You mean like... Where am I? I'm like floating over it looking for it. Like this one? Or... these? I've been sprinkling some small race housing. Not a ton of it, because it's a mostly human city, but I need to throw in some larger structures. I haven't thrown in any like ogre scale stuff. So I need to do something like that. And then like this isn't an established thing, but I threw this kind of very not in, well, one, the color, but like it's just not structurally the same as the rest of the stuff. It's similar but not quite, so trying to throw in some what we could potentially bring into another racial city at some point. So, you know, there are things that aren't necessarily Night Harbor specific in the city already. And as we build it out, there'll be more and more of that type of stuff kind of sprinkled around here and there. Yeah, those banner things look cool. Yeah, tapping into in is a good idea. Poor people would be scrambling excuse me, for land, so the houses and shit might be really barely hanging on something about falling into the water. I think I have a pretty good idea of what we could do actually to keep it simple but interesting. Oh, nice. Yeah, we'll have to talk about that. Hey, Messenger, how's it going? Oh, I like what I'm hearing. Good. I saw a green building off in the distance previously and was immediately struck that I have to go there. It was really cool looking at night. Oh yeah, it definitely draws the attention. And actually, one of the original one even did a really decent job of that. When I first saw, I can't remember if it was video. It was probably video, or images, and Sean's placeholder, which I replaced with this placeholder off in the distance. It was like, ooh, that's cool. Like, I want to go see what that point of interest is. Like, I feel like there's an adventure to be had over there. So it definitely does a really good job, and I think the green kind of Minas Mogul lighting makes it look pretty cool at night. And again, kind of sticking with these, you know, sharp protrusions that really kind of catch the light, and then, you know, also give you some contrast with the areas that don't catch the light, and keeping it vertical and sharp, and kind of, again, going in with some of the Wormsbane shape language and stuff like that. I think it's gonna look pretty cool. I have an idea of what I want at least the exterior to look like. The interior layout and stuff like that will I'm sure be a little bit of playing around with. Carnors is one of my all-time favorites. Sounds good to me. Yeah, I think that'll be the I feel like that is what the entrance level is gonna feel like. It's gonna feel like that, like going into the castle-y area with walls around you, and, you know, kind of courtyard-esque. And then as you dive into the interior of it, it will change. It won't necessarily feel like Carnors as much. And it might take on more of like a vertical Cebalus Guck feel. But transitioning more, well, I guess Guck even and Cebalus both had transitions between like cavernous areas and more like structurally built areas. So in my head, that's kind of the feeling and vibe that I feel like it will eventually have, but we'll see. Like Quenos, nice. Now I just had some gnomes, or no gnomes allowed sign. The support for small races is very cool. I find they tend to get forgotten about as soon as it's not their starting content. It's frustrating as someone who enjoys those races to get forgotten and laughed at. Well, I can't guarantee that there's no laughing at the small races, but I am definitely thinking about small races and stuff. And again, this one is specifically a human city, but it's like the major trade city on the continent. So like there is a lot of intermixing of the different races in our mythos lore, whatever you want to call it. So I feel like adding in little areas here and there again that, you know, smaller races. I need to throw in some larger race ones. I haven't done that yet. And then some areas where it's just like, this culturally feels slightly removed. Just kind of helps build that visual storytelling of the city. And makes it feel more alive, and that it's made of, you know, multiple cultures and stuff. Which is what the city is. Let's see. So like outside architectural influence being sprinkled in here and there in the city. Yep, exactly. And again, I think it makes it feel more like it's a city that has a lot of interactions with other cities and other races and stuff like that, which again is exactly what this city is. You know what? Let's do this. Let's bring these in. Trying to make this easier on myself to like visualize what's going on with the walls here. Hey Jess, how's it going? Pretty good. I'm doing well myself. Cannot complain. Just kind of slowly developing this area of Sagesyde, trying to figure out what I want the main thoroughfare kind of to be. And right now I'm trying to just get a little bit more of a visual on, or like a visualization on how this wall stuff is gonna be, because it's gonna affect what goes here, essentially. Select texture group faces. There, it actually did it that time. Alright, so essentially I think these will... why is that acting weird? I keep hitting the button and it keeps not doing what it's supposed to the first time I click on it. So this will eventually be closed up, and the interior stuff will have to kind of come all the way down here. Originally I had like this ramp running up here, but it was just taking up way too much room. But I think like this is going to... maybe even all the way up to here. Do something like that. That'll go inside, come up through here, and then maybe, I don't know. I'm gonna leave this for now. This is one of those things that I'll probably visually extrude these out, leave them for a little bit. It's easy enough, like if I decide, hey, I don't want to do this, I can always move them back. It's not that, or delete those faces and let's just bridge and fix it. But it's a pain in the butt. Sometimes I find when I'm doing something like this that this ends up being one of those things. It's good for me to get something down that I can visualize it and then walk away, or just like leave it there, let it sit there for a little bit, and then see if something, like, does it creatively spark an idea, that type of thing. So, just gonna kind of leave that. I don't know if I, probably won't do it exactly like that, but all right. Let's see. Mad Dabber, thank you for the follow, and welcome to the stream. I'm liking the idea for this tower being built around the rock like that. Yeah, I wanted to make the northern wall different, yet similar. Oh, I forgot. I need to finish up putting the ribbing on this side. But so the walls are very similar. The thing I thought would be different, since there's this big rock wall over here, maybe that, you know, this was eventually a or one point was a kind of a rocky plateau that, you know, maybe this part broke. Right now it's very straight. I need to figure out, this might not be as high, that type of thing. You know, there'll eventually be a gate here, that type of stuff. I haven't really refined this at all. You can't even really walk around in here right now like you can on the other side. But just kind of wanted to have its own feel. So eventually, you know, this will probably be more, you know, maybe not completely flat. But this will be more of a rocky entrance. And this side is kind of more grounded. And a little bit less, you know, it's a flatter area. There are some rocks and stuff as you get closer to the beach, but the northern side looks like somewhere people identified as defensible, and the entrance is a great place for starting city. Well, thank you. Yeah, and then we've got this area over here that Sean threw together that leads into this kind of collapse in the mountain wall here that actually is part of the necropolis. Which actually I need to finish Spirit Tab. That's another thing I need to do. And then, yeah, this is the Blackfeather Bazaar from the other side. So, again, another little market area that'll have these little tomb areas that, you know, will be more like market or little stores, that type of thing. Alright, let me try to get back over here. I think eventually this little cluster might, again, be slightly rotated. But I'm going to keep it more straight and grid locked right now because this is going to make it way easier on me later when I go through and actually, like, make the interiors and stuff for these. That'll go down. These might be something more like that, maybe? This is really throwing the vibes off. I really think I might actually use this as the temples up here. Right now, these are copy and pasted from the temple over there. So maybe I will try to do that. We'll see. We will see. Watch a few of the old streams from yourself and Sean. I'm excited for the future release. Reminds me of EQOA Frontiers a bit. Nice. I never got to play EQOA, unfortunately. I always hear great stuff from the people who did play. I don't know, when I was younger, I was very like, the original EQ is the better EQ. And I never gave that one a try. I don't know, I was a weird game elitist, I guess, in some way. Back then. I need to eventually try the emulator. I usually wait a little bit longer until it's more finished. I don't know if they've actually released it yet. I know they're working on it. You can lean into the idea that the temple is throwing off the vibe. Have the building near it throw banners over it. I'm just picturing it, not banners. I'm just picturing like the people next door just TPing the side of the building. Was simple and story behind the elves was cool to learn. Yeah, I really wish I had given it a try back then. Although another reason I never gave it a try was I didn't have a PS2. That was a PS, yeah, it was a PS2 game. I didn't have a PS2 until college, and it wasn't mine. One, my roommate had one, and then my ex had one. So back then I was very limited to being able to play it. I did play a bunch of Champions in Norath, though, when that came out. I think my roommate bought it. Yeah, I think my roommate bought it, he had no idea what EverQuest was, even though I played it all the time. And then we played it a ton, and then we played The Return when that came out. Or what's the second one called? Is it Champions Return? Champions of Norath. Where's the one with Inaruk, not Inaruk on the cover? Yeah, Return to Arms. That one. It always used to drive me nuts, though, again, being an EQ1 fan, that they didn't make Inaruk look like Inaruk. I was like, what? That's not Inaruk! Like, it drove me crazy. Or how the planes in it didn't look like the planes in EQ1. That used to drive me crazy too. Was simple. Excuse me. Okay, I just read that. I was spoiled in high school. I was not. I was a poor art skater kid. I was far from spoiled. Champions was awesome back then. Oh yeah, I loved that game. I kind of want to go around to a couple of the mom and pop shops. Like resale game stores around here and see if anybody has a copy of it. So I have not played it in forever. And I feel like my kids would enjoy it. Let's take a look from over here. Oops. Yeah, and if I can't find one, I should probably just get like an emulator on my computer, because I definitely been wanting to play that. Actually, Zukin's stream, like a month or two ago. I can't. If Zukin, I can't remember the game you were playing, on your stream, like in late November or sometime in December. But man, that made me want to play, Champions, and I've had like a weird itch to play Champions ever since. This is so wide open. Hmm. Yes, I'm still listening. Gosh, it's driving me crazy. Um, hmm. I don't know. I do not know. Part of me wants to have, like, a ramp way through there. I don't know. I think I'm at the point, though, I need to, like, step back and take a break and come back because my brain's, like, melting. I don't know what I want to do with this specific section. Or I might even, like, take a snapshot of this and then kind of, like, sketch over it. I can't stand the cameras, the isometric cameras in Unity. Drive me crazy. Yeah, I think what I'll end up doing is these are very rigid, so some of these are going to be more slanted buildings, just to kind of get rid of the, like, really jagged paths. So I kind of want... I could see this area being a square, but it also, I think, feels gigantic. Let's, you know what? Let's run around. Let's do that. I'm like, what? Am I in the zone? Oops, I just totally logged into the wrong character, I'm pretty sure. I double-clicked. You could use some of that area for a square. Have a fountain or something, some trees, etc. A nice breezy area amongst the houses. Yeah, I think I wanted that area opened up, that kind of like L shape. The question is, how open do I want it? Yep, this is not the character I wanted to log in on. I'll just do it this way real quick, as opposed to camping. Oh, no, I was on the right character. I forgot. I was showing a coworker some of the stuff we've been working on. And I forgot I logged that character into Wormsbane. Alright. Fly. Give myself super GM speed. Actually, I don't think I showed this off. I finished this after my stream last week. So I have not shown this off. So I kind of made this little rundown. Nope, there is a black flicker. I need to figure out where that came from. But anyways, this is... Oh, I need to fix those steps. I'll fix that collision when we hop back over. But anyways, this is that path I was creating last week. So it has a facade down there. And then still got this area. I'm going to turn off the speed now. So we kind of get a natural progression. Hold on. I can at least give myself pack speed. So just pack speed. Nope. Oh, I'm an idiot. Sitting here like hitting it over and over again, and I completely forgot to put the underscore. Oh, there we go. Now we'll move a little better. So yeah, I kind of added some of these other houses and stuff over here. Little areas to get up to other rooms. Whether, again, these end up being NPCs or player housing or what, that needs to be determined. But this type of feel I want to lean into on the other hill right up there. Except there's going to be a lot more like playing around with the rooftops and stuff. And then I added a doorway through this as well. I think I'm going to do awnings and then maybe a building up against this right here. But again, I kind of want to keep it open to a degree, so it kind of feels like a courtyard, but I don't want it to be too open at the same time. Yeah, I don't like the way this is feeling. Yeah, I'm gonna have to play around with this area again. I'm not super happy with it. Let's see how this other area feels. Yeah, I think I want this to be angled, like I was doing earlier. Oh, there's so many buildings, like areas where buildings can go. I might even, like, we have so much space up here. I may even consider closing off these, like, extra inlets that I made. Just because there's so much already here. I don't know if it's necessary or if it's just unnecessary overload. Let's see. Let's see. You could use some other area. I already read that. That might not work for lore, but it could be a fountain with a statue, evoking a wizard or something. Nearby, they built the fountain. The power of the wind control. Yeah, actually, we have some ideas for statues, but granted, not in this little area. If there's a square there. But I think this whole area is going to get played around with more. I'm not happy with it currently. I may even go and play around with this area because I kind of know what I want to do more than I know what I'm going to do with over here. So I may even finish this area coming down and then kind of link up with this square area and then push back into there. I don't know. I do not know. This area is going to be, like I said, probably more of a playing around with it until I get a feeling that I'm enjoying, or I think feels right. I think this, again, I think this feels alright in terms of scale. This, though, needs work. So does this. This whole area over here needs work. I feel a small fountain would make it feel open without feeling barren. Yeah, I think it if this ends up being a larger kind of, and again, square is probably the wrong word since it's more of like an L, but we'll call it square. Kind of an open courtyard, I guess. I think it will need some environmental, like, statue or something to make it feel less open. Or not less open, but like less, like you said, barren. That's the word. But we'll have to play around with that. That's something that won't be during the blockout pass anyways. That would be more of an environment art pass later. Yeah, it does. That untextured area is really boxy. I'm not liking the flow of it either. And it's so... I honestly, when I started pushing these in, I did it on a stream a long time ago. I didn't think there was going to be enough room in here, and I already feel like there's so much going on here. I feel like this is just extra. I don't think it's necessary as I'm running around. And I think this boxiness can get easily broken up just by, like, rotating some stuff here and there. But I think I just need to get a really good handling on how I want to handle this. This, originally, I was thinking was going to be a square here. But I almost don't mind it over here more. But I need to really kind of just figure out this particular spot. And I think once this area right here is figured out, it will help set up the transition going in other directions. And then again, you know, I'm going to kind of work over here and work down and then figure that out as well. But currently I'm not happy with where it's at. So that there'll be some playing around with it and adjustments to come for sure. I'm about justifying things since I do a lot of tabletops. But I love the idea of a copy of a wizard's. I love the idea of a copy of that wizard's tower, but shrunk to 10 feet tall, as a fountain statue. Type of idea. I think that actually could work potentially. Keep that area open. But yeah, I'll figure that out. I don't know what we'll end up doing, but this whole area, expect to see changes at some point. But we shall see. Other than that, guys, I think it's already kind of closing in on the time that I would log out anyways. So I think I'm going to call the stream here. One, I just need I'm in one of those like mental states where I'm just like, I need to step away and let the creative juices kind of just brew. Because right now I'm not feeling what I have. And I don't have a direction that I want to go with it. So I'm going to call the stream here. An M&M beanie sure would look nice for hiking. Eventually, they'll be there. I don't have. There's no time frame on when the beanies will be available, but eventually you'll all be able to join the beanie club. But apologies if I'm wrong. Just be sure. Sorry if I'm wrong, but just to be sure, maybe use the word square isn't being misunderstood. I'm meaning a city square, a common area. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I'm meaning too. I'm getting hung up on the word square because it's not really square shaped, but that's not a thing that's more of a I have to apologize because I'm getting hung up on the word. But yeah, no, like a city square, a more open area. I think that's what I want to do there. I just need to figure out the dimensions and the shape. The size is about right. I think the size feels right, but I need to figure out how all those buildings flow into it. And it's just not there yet. Let's see. Thanks for your time, brother. No problem. Thanks for the stream. Not a problem. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. So I will start my spiel. If anybody is not familiar, I probably should have stayed in game. Let's load up Night Harbor real quick. So the link I just dropped in the chat is to our website. We are making an indie MMORPG titled Monsters and Memories. It is very influenced by that kind of classic first generation of MMOs. So think late 90s, early 2000s, that era. Ultima Online, EverQuest, Dark Age of Camelot. I forgot I was in ISO. That was really weird for half a second there while my brain processed what I was looking at. So we've been in the process of building out our starter city for our proof of concept. We're currently in the process of building that out. If you'd like to go to that link and you'll find out all sorts of information about the game. If you have any questions, feel free to hop into our Discord, which is the link I just put in. All the development team is in there. Feel free to ask us questions. We're always pretty good at answering stuff. Or if you just want to hop in and join the community, there's over 1,900 people in there now. We talk about our game design in general, the MMO genre. There's other, off-topic things like tabletops and stuff like that. So feel free to hop in there, and love to see you. That is our mailing list if you'd like to stay up to date with the game. That's a great way to do that. We send out updates once a month, so you can kind of keep up to date with what's going on. And then occasionally we'll do polls and stuff like that. These are the other members of the team that stream currently. So everybody kind of streams their own individual aspect of the game, although there's a lot of overlap since we're a smaller team. My streams generally are level design and environment art based, but sometimes I'll do like shader work or textures or stuff like that as well. And then we also have a YouTube. If you'd like to get caught up on past VODs, we post all of our old VODs up there. So if you are watching on YouTube, please remember to like and subscribe, comment below, all of that fun stuff. Helps us out with the algorithm. The more engagement we get on those, the more likely the algorithm is to suggest M&M content to people that are interested in MMOs and stuff like that, or just game design in general. So taking a couple seconds to do that goes a long way. We're super appreciative of it. Thank you for everybody. We read all the comments and try to respond and stuff like that as well. If you are watching on YouTube and you'd like to participate in the live chats, there should be a link down below to my Twitch channel, Paytas the Ranger. Just give it a follow, and you should get a notification whenever I go live. I go live on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and Monday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So those are my normal 2 streams. If I do cancel a stream or something like that, it's always in Discord. So if you're in Discord, you'll get a notification. If I'm, for whatever reason, not able to stream. What was the other thing I was going to say? Mine went blank. Oh, Discord, the notifications. You can also opt into Discord notifications, so when any member of the team goes live, you'll get a notification there as well. Besides that, thank you to all my subscribers. You guys rock. Your support is always appreciated. But beyond that, guys, have a great weekend. I shall see you Monday night. Later.